Good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
Hello, folks. Welcome to another edition of Firing Line Radio Show. We are over 10 years on the air now. It's amazing because I was only 20 when I started this show, so I must be approaching 30-something at this day and age, or I'm a major liar. But on the show last week, actually did a Smash Time was on, and we did a program with him last weekend, and we did some giveaways. So those of you who subscribed in the last week or so, as I said before, we're doing a giveaway, and that was for the Maglite. Get yourself a Maglite ML300, an amazing light, 524 lumens, 69 hours of run time. It's hard, tough enough to beat up a criminal. It's a perfect light for all purposes. So actually the giveaway for that, as I went through the people who signed up, I just love the name here. So Fluffy 10 mil Jeep guy. Okay, that's that. How do you not give that guy a prize? He's fluffy, shoots 10 mils, got a Jeep. It's like now he needs a Maglite. So he's going to have to expand his name to Fluffy 10 mil Jeep guy, 500 lumens, something of that nature. But anyway, that is the winner of the fantastic Maglite that we're going to be shipping off. So PM me. It's on you to PM me your address, and we'll get that out to you. This day, as we're in a heat wave here in Southern California, but this day I have Adam Painchaud. He's with E3 Firearms recently. Before that, he was a Sig Sauer Academy VP for 11 years, VP of Sig Sauer Academy, Air Force, Special Forces, SWAT team currently. He's even on call as we're doing this particular show. So that's how active this guy is. Adam, how's your morning going?
It's going well. Only a couple wrestling matches on the side of a street this morning, but other than that, pretty good. Yeah. Go get quick disclaimer. Right? No Air Force Special Forces, Air Force Special Agent. So definitely a difference there. Just want to throw that out there.
Except you actually went through Ranger School.
Yeah.
So that's why I messed that up. You're
gotcha.
Ranger qualified as an Air Force guy.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. Congratulations. Thank you for your service.
Appreciate it.
So your background, right? Your family was police department, your father, yep, and an instructor. So you've been basically around firearms your entire life, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Dad was a police chief, and he was a firearms instructor when he was a patrolman and sergeant and all that good stuff. So grew up with him, and certainly been around guns and shooting and hunting and all that stuff my whole life.
And you have two boys too?
Yeah, two crazy little boys. Yep. So getting them into the shooting realm, they enjoy shooting. Actually, right out here to my right is my little home range. So they're out there usually plinking 22s in the backyard at some steel on a regular basis. They like some of the bigger stuff too.
Well, in California, we have the homie range, so that's a whole different thing, step outside.
Completely different.
You have to hold the gun sideways, I think, for the homie range. Yeah. Good thing. Well, that's awesome that you're passing that on to your kids, and training is a big part of responsible gun ownership. We have a right to own a firearm. We have a right to carry a firearm, but training is our responsibility. And that's kind of where E3 has stepped it up here because, well, I'll let you take the reins on this. E3 Firearms training. How do you guys do it? What's it about?
Well, the our grandfather of E3, our original founder, Brian Johnson, had come to me some years ago with the concept, and I love the idea. And I think one of the big things that Brian had talked about back in the day with me, it was going back about 5 years or so, was there's just a lot of noise out there in the firearms community. There's some great stuff out there. There's some great videos. There's some great training classes and schools and things like that. But there's also a fair amount of just I don't know, some fluff out there, or some not so great stuff, I should say. So his idea, his vision was to create a platform that's vetted, tried, true, proven, that's very professional, and firearms community based, where you can get education, entertainment, have some fun with the shooting and get involved, get some education out of it and all that stuff. So, and just last year we brought on, I think, Chris Tonto Peranto, who is definitely our celebrity. I'm not our celebrity. And he's been a great addition to the E3 team. So we're proud to have him on tap with us too. So, but E3 is essentially a firearms training community. We have formal classes you can take, both a complete online curriculum of classes, rifle, pistol.
Okay, so let's start with this. So I'm brand new, right? I go to e3firearms.com, and you're saying there's some training in here. So what does that look like?
Yeah, so it's membership based. So you'd get a membership, and we have different levels of membership. But the firearms courses are all organized and segmented, like you just said. I'm a new handgun owner, for instance. And I'm thinking I just want to get some basic training on it, and maybe segue into some more intermediate training with it, and maybe some defensive training, things like that. So the courses are laid out logically. So I mean, there, say a basic handgun, for instance, it's about 7 to 10 different segments that are anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes long, that you're going to sit there literally on your couch at your leisure, watch it, and you can perform the skills. A lot of things you can do dry fire at the house, and then next time you get out to the range, you can practice the skills. But a lot of it can actually be done from the comfort of your home, and then you take it out to your range or your dry fire area, whatever you got available to you, and you work through the stuff. It's pretty straightforward.
Well, it would seem pretty straightforward, but again, we're in California, so nothing straightforward here. So
true.
What for a new firearm, some of my audience is in Arizona, others are across the nation, others in California, but for somebody in California, the new gun purchaser, they make you take a written test, like 35 questions. They're very simple questions, but you have to go through that. You have to pay money to the state. You have to pay for the dealer record of sale. Then the gun salesman is responsible to show you the safe handling features of your firearm. But that is not training, right? That's getting you out the door with a box. And now what do you go from there? So what would you say is the most important thing for a new shooter?
Well, certainly safety is the most important thing for a new shooter, or any shooter for that matter. Actually, and I found that the more you handle guns, the more you round guns, probably the more dangerous you get. Yeah. But for the new shooter, just you really learning a logical, correct flow of how to do things. We all know there's so many different ways to do things, and we're certainly not saying our way is the way. It's just a way of doing things. So
in a teachable concept. I mean,
yeah,
you were military, you're law enforcement, so everything's in an anachronism, right? The OODA loop, what the heck are you talking about? So you're breaking it down to manageable systems that are logic based for regular people, right?
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And so I've taught classes my whole life. So like these classes, for instance, a basic handgun class that you can click through and watch with E3 is no different than being in the classroom with me or Chris, and you're going through the curriculum. The only advantage you have is, you can be in your pajamas, and drinking your coffee at home, watching it, and you can click pause whenever you want, and you can practice the skills and do it at your leisure. So it's like a formal class. It's just, you're doing it at home, which is kind of nice. And of course, there's the hard skills that you have to bring out to the range and stuff like that.
So how do you transfer those from the class to the range?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Of course, we're doing hands-on training as well with E3, but we're teaching the concepts. We're teaching the tangible skills of, for instance, if we're talking real basic, how to properly clear a semi-automatic pistol. So we're going through those steps. We're showing it to you. I'm holding the pistol. I'm showing you. So you can then, you could pause and now take your gun, go through all those, safety protocols, and go through that practice, rewind and watch again. Okay, now I know how to use that slide catch lever or something like that. And then it just progresses from there. And a lot of it, as as I'm sure know, a lot of getting good at shooting isn't necessarily done on the range. It's done before you get to the range. So, as far as the, manipulation of the trigger, seeing your sights correctly and going through all that stuff when you get into the shooting aspect outside of the mechanical aspect, I'm literally teaching it to you like it's me and you. Hey, Philip, this is how you do this, and you're seeing it all, and it's in a logical flow. It's instead of just a YouTube video, you're clicking on, hey, how do I clear my Glock 17? This is formal. It's a formal class.
Awesome. Folks, I'm here with Adam Painchaud with E3 Firearms, e3firearms.com. We'll be right back after this. Goes quick, right? When ready, Dan. This one's a little quicker. It's 9:30 segment.
All right, here we go.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. See this? This is my boomstick.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Boomstick Radio. Philip Naiman here. Check us out at our podcast. What was it? Drop something. Check out our podcast at firinglineradio.com, firinglineradio.com, all kinds of product and information sitting over there. Our YouTube channel is at Firing Line Radio, and you can check out Adam on that as we're recording this for that show also. E3 Firearms Associates. So e3firearms.com is the website for this specific video style training. Now, Adam was at the Sig Sauer Academy for 11 years. He's been, Ranger qualified. He's been Air Force Special Agent. He's currently on a SWAT team. He's trained, I'm going to guess, thousands of people over the course of his career here. And E3 Firearms has developed a system for you to get top quality training without having to travel. And what's so important about that is, every Saturday you might have soccer games with the kids or family obligations, and you just can't go do what you want to do. But this is a training system you can do on your time. Get home from work. You can turn on a channel, pop it open, get the training you need, do whatever dry firearm practice you need to do to stay proficient. So, I want to develop the concept here, Adam, of video training, because we always think about gun training. You got to go to the range. You got to go stand in the dirt and shoot dirt, right? That's gun training. So how do you... I want to show how, just through the video, as you're saying, it's almost a one-on-one with you in the video. How do you take that? Are there specific drills that you're supposed to go and kind of check off at the range? What's the next level? How do you push that through?
Yeah, it's I'll equate to it as, a lot of people are taking, college level courses or getting entire degrees, while sitting at home online. I think in the past 2 years with COVID, I can certainly speak for my kids. They did all their school online, so online training, is certainly not a new concept. And, there's a lot of folks moving that way. To caveat a little bit, it's, the people I talk to that want to take training, I've get so often I hear somebody say, "Oh, Adam, I'd love to jump into one of your classes, like a real live, in front of me in the range and, in the classroom class, but, I just don't have the time, right? I got a busy schedule. I got the kids, like you said, got soccer games and all that stuff going on. Got life gets in the way, and that's understandable. But people, when they want to take the class, they want to get some training, and if they have this venue, this system to do so, what we've created with E3, it seems to work out really well, and it gives people that opportunity to do it on their own. But to answer your question specifically about, the live stuff, like how do we take these concepts we're talking about, like me and you, and I'm walking you through, how to operate a semi-automatic pistol. How do you take that to the range? It's pretty straightforward. Like anything, it's like, we're the YouTube society now, so I like working on my truck and stuff like that. So I want to replace the starter or whatever. So I'm YouTubing, I'm watching it, and I'm going out and I'm practicing it. It's really pretty straightforward. So if I'm if I'm in a classroom setting, giving you the, just how mechanics of how to do a reload, and then you see me the next segment that you're watching for basic handgun, you're seeing me, walk through a one-hole drill and, how to manipulate the trigger, see the sights and get some good success on the target. You're seeing me do that on the live range as I give you the tutorial how to do that. Now you bring that out to your range. I mean, literally you could bring your iPad out to the range and watch it, but I don't think you need to. You just practice those skills. It's pretty straightforward. It's not like I'm teaching rocket science, that is for sure. So it's pretty simple concepts, and I'd like to think that at this point in my life, I've figured out a way how to do adult education where it's understandable, it's easy to repeat and stuff like that. And I know my partner in crime here, Chris Pronto, certainly has the same same flow of methodology when he does his classes.
Oh, very cool. So how does this differ from what you did with SIG?
Well, actually, a lot of the classes are the same. Like, the classes, when I was teaching at SIG, if it was a handgun 102 or a defensive rifle class or something like that, it's not like there's no mystery out there. It's like, a lot of people have different teaching styles, but the content is all essentially the same, right? So it's the same type of classes I've been teaching both, when I was at FLETC or for the Air Force or, for my police agency or my SWAT team or at SIG Academy. It's the same stuff. You're just seeing it, instead of being in front of me and seeing that, getting hit in the face with brass, you're watching it with a screen.
Well, and that's what I wanted to get at, is the fact that it is the same training, but you get to save on travel, you get to save on time. Yep. You can adjust when you want to take this training. And, unlike going to a course, right? So I go to your Sig Sauer Academy and I go over there and I take the course, and, I'm kind of stupid. So I didn't hear some of the things you said earlier. Well, there's no rewind button, right? That's gone. And that day is over. And unless I had a GoPro on me the entire time, it's gone. But the same kind of training that you can go back to and recover. I mean, how much of what we do is fundamentals, right? And just like any sport, like golf, right? Keep your eye on the ball, swing consistently. That's all you have to do to play like Tiger Woods. Well, that never happens, right? So yeah. It's the same thing. Is how much time can you spend on the fundamentals? Well, all of it is kind of where you should be. And this allows you another avenue. It's probably far less expensive than trying to take a course a month or something of that nature, right?
Absolutely a lot less expensive. I can say, whether it's at SIG or, I still teach, hands-on classes to this day. You're talking a couple $200-$300 for the class fee per day, not to mention your ammunition and, like you said, travel, you got break for lunch, you got to take the time off from work, so there's a lot of expense that goes into it. And you hit the nail on the head. It's not like you can hit pause in the classroom, so you can keep on going back to this stuff. And with E3, the classes that I'm discussing, that we're discussing right now, is really just part of E3. It's a whole community. Like, I'm on there every night going back. We have forums and group discussions. We're doing live calls. We're doing, podcasts like we're doing now. We've got a magazine. There's a lot of, there's in-person events and things like that. So it's, more than just clicking through some classes. And it's pretty cool. You got,
flesh that out as far as the forums are concerned and access to you guys.
Sure. I'll give you an example, so I'll Chris Pronto is certainly the more well-known guy than I am, so, a lot of, literally got direct access to a guy like Chris Pronto. Hey, Chris, what do you think about, who's going
to win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, exactly. Probably not. But yeah, if, a tactic or, hey, I saw these guys doing this technique, to clear a room, Chris, what do you think about that? And you got a guy like Chris Pronto, who has certainly been there and done that. And,
he's cleaned a few rooms.
He's cleaned a few rooms. Yeah, he can. I mean, you got literally on this our app, our phone app, you could literally just direct message him or me. Hey, Adam, what do you think about this? This concealed carry method, or what are your suggestions on whatever?
Hey, Adam,
what do I do if I get pulled over?
SIG?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I can't anymore, so I used to be able to, but, I say that direct access, not that we're anything special, but, between Chris and I, we've certainly got a decent amount of background, and you have that with E3, you have right at your fingertips, literally an E3 app, and you can direct message us any time of day. Hey, Adam, what do I do if I get pulled over and I got my gun on me? What do you suggest I should do? It's literally a personal dialogue back and forth. It's not like an open group discussion. Of course, we can have those as well. So just things like that. So it's a neat kind of access and experience that you're getting with it.
That is really cool. Now, it's not just firearms, right? E3 is a community with other interests.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there are many other E3 branches, E3 camping, E3 off-road.
I'm going to tease on that, and we'll come back right after this. Folks, Philip Naiman, Firing Line Radio Show. Find out more about E3, all the different things they do, and then we'll get into Sig Sauer Academy with Adam Painchaud. Very glad to have him on the show here today. So check them out at e3firearms.com. Our podcasts are at firinglineradio.com.
Ready?
I'm gonna ask you some gun questions coming up here. You guys do guns, right? A little bit.
We lost his audio. Oh, you muted yourself somehow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did. Yep, I'm back on. Hit that mute button. Yeah, I like gun questions. Let's do it.
All right.
Gun law, all that stuff, certainly in my wheelhouse. Or law concepts. I can't help you out in California too much, but
nobody. It's okay. Our cosmetically enhanced governor is banning the sale of all vehicles, combustion engine vehicles, in like 12 years.
I saw that's crazy.
Or electric, but he's also decommissioning the last nuclear power plant in California. So we'll have no power for these electric cars. The electric cars themselves basically have charging an electric car overnight basically doubles your electric rate. So people are already complaining they're paying $300, $400, $500, $600, sometimes $900 a month for electric bills. And it's going to double your rate for electric car, but you'll save the money on gas, but there is no electricity, and they can cut your power. So you can't charge your car, and they can be controlled as how far you go. Yeah, it's a great idea. It's wonderful. Why are people fleeing the state? People with money and options are leaving.
It's crazy.
That's why we replaced them. Prescott.
This live free or die, it says it right on my license plate. You can come up here in New Hampshire. We don't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, live free or die. And Bernie Sanders is your
no, that's in Vermont.
No.
Yeah, don't confuse those two states. That is the wrong state, brother.
Olympia Snow or Susan Collins, they're Maine, right?
That's Maine. Yeah, New Hampshire is New Hampshire. Yeah.
Who's your senator there?
They're on the other side of the fence, but they're
See,
yeah. We're good governor. Chris Sununu, good Republican governor. He does a good job, and we got a good state here.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah,
it's a pretty state.
It is,
but you're too close to Bernie, so
yeah,
it bleeds over.
Yeah. Our senators are Maggie Hassan and Jeanne Shaheen, both. But actually, they're both fairly reasonable, surprisingly. But yeah,
fairly reasonable. Okay.
Yeah,
ours are just psycho.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, Chief.
Spartans, lay down your weapons. Treasure. Come and get them.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Firing Line Radio Show. Philip Naiman here. Check out our podcast at firinglineradio.com, YouTube channel. Subscribe to that, like it, and maybe you could win something like Fluffy, the 10 mil Jeep guy did. So he got a Maglite ML300, 524 lumen, 69 hours of runtime, and you just can't get any better than that. So plus it's a I can never say those words. It is a C cell battery. So it's nice size, still has enough weight to beat a criminal into the ground which is an important feature of the Maglite. You always want to have that opportunity. You have a little 2-inch, 3-inch, Streamlight or something like that, doesn't work. You need the prowess of a Maglite in certain situations. So, as a non-law enforcement background, I think it's a great way to go.
Kind of just a bonus that it has a light on it, right?
Oh, they have lights? I forgot about
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Folks, joining me here is Adam Painchaud. Adam Painchaud, E3 Firearms. He's also been Sig Sauer Academy and vice president there for 11 years, done a ton of gun training. What we're talking about right now is the E3 Firearms group and E3 by themselves. Now, E3 is not just firearms. It's kind of like-minded ideas, in the fire, like what we do on our show here. Some days we talked about overlanding and bug out vehicles, or preparing, or, hunting, just all these different things that kind of I like is kind of where the show goes. So if you want insight into my mind, it's look at my guests. Anyway, so E3, you have different segments, not just firearms. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yeah, I mean, so specifically with E3 Firearms, it's not just like defensive, defensive rifle, defensive handgun, or self-defense. It's the whole community, sports shooting, or just, getting out there, getting after it a little bit, having some fun, getting together with your friends, doing some flanking. So we have that. Then of course, we segue into maybe some defensive tactics, how to, defend yourself, if you don't have a firearm on you, things like that. And then just concepts. I know Chris and I are sharing concepts of how to keep yourself out of trouble, and not talking necessarily about legal trouble, but how to avoid situations, good situation awareness, things like that. So we have all that.
Getting gas at 2 o'clock in the morning in inner city.
Yes, absolutely. So, but E3, the E3 family, so to speak, we've got E3 Overland, E3 Off-Road, E3 Camping, E3 Aviation coming at us pretty soon. So pretty cool. We got like you said, like-minded stuff, folks that, folks that are into guns and that kind of stuff. They're often into, trucks and camping and, things like that. So it all kinds of goes together. So it's a pretty cool community. And we have, subject matter experts that are running each one of those groups. And, it's pretty cool.
And you get all of this just through your membership.
Yeah. Yep.
And what are the cost of the memberships?
I know I should absolutely know that. I don't.
So go to e3firearms.com and it's listed there.
Exactly. There's some options of about $30 a month, or you can pay for the year. There's a premium membership level where you get a little bit more access and, features and things like that. But it's very reasonable, especially when you compare it to what you would pay for like classes and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's take advantage now of some of your other experience working at Sig Sauer. Obviously, not obviously, but let me just ask this. You had access to basically everything that they created, right?
Yeah. I was out there for a while. Great company to work for. Worked with some incredible people. Very fortunate.
Where is the academy?
The academy is in Epping, New Hampshire, which is kind of the seacoast area in New Hampshire. So lower right corner, I guess, of New Hampshire.
Oh, very good. And so in Sig Sauer, what were your favorite firearms? Pistols, to start with pistols.
As far as the Sig family of products is concerned, my favorite handguns were always the classic line P series. P239 was probably the gun I had with me concealed most of the time. My duty gun is
the 239.
239 is a single stack classic double action single action with a decocker, aluminum frame, stainless steel slide, 9mm, 8+1. That's a gun I've always really liked. I still love that gun to this day. Operationally, as a special agent, I carried a M11, which is a P228, also double stack gun, 9mm. So that was my issued, special agent gun for a lot of years. So I really like that gun. But the 2.2 and my SWAT gun for years, we've transitioned away from the SIGs, but my SWAT gun for years, and one of my favorite teaching handguns for years was, and still is, the P226, the 226 and 9mm and 357 SIG. What an awesome gun. I really really feel at home with that gun. I've kind of always said, and I'll still say it to this day, it's probably one of my, go to war guns. If I got to pick a go to war pistol, that's certainly going to be right up there in my selection. It's just a great gun. So
what did
yeah.
you like the most about it? I mean, it's ergonomic, it's function, what is
It
your
just
favorite
felt-
feature on it?
It felt good in my hand, so, and I answer this question with a little bit of a background in it. I like guns. It's very subjective. I like this subjective approach of what works for you. For some reason, those guns they feel good in my hand. I like the way they feel. I like the controls. I like the way they point. I like the way they shoot. Straight up front, I don't carry SIGs very often these days, and haven't really much for the past 5 years because of my what I do now. But I really like those guns. I feel as at home with a 226, a 228, or a 239 in my hand as I do, the Glock 19 that's on me right now, or the Smith & Wesson that's on my ankle. So it's just some guns, they just feel good to you, and and they work, and you're comfortable with them.
Yeah, I mean, they're legendary for the functionality. You don't have you don't have a warranty department that's backed up.
No, it's nice, solid pieces, that's for sure.
And then also, so let's go with the carbine side, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like AR style platforms. I mean, the reality is whatever you stamp on the side of it, whether it's SIG or Daniel Defense or Smith & Wesson or Aero Precision, really, I don't really
It's an
care.
AR style platform.
BCM. I like good quality AR-15s with good quality equipment on them, good quality white light, good quality red dot, great sling, and I'm happy. I really don't care what brand it is, and some decent ammo. So I know when I was at SIG, the Sig 516. I really like the 516. Actually, my SWAT rifle is still our team issued rifles, 10-inch full auto 516s, which we've had for a lot of years, and they just run. They are awesome guns. I like the M400 with the Sig because it's obviously you get a little bit lighter weight versus the piston system of the 516. But I like those. I got I got several, as you can imagine.
Throw this out here. Difference between piston and gas.
Yeah.
Explain that if you would.
Yeah, so like a 516, similar in that to like a HK 416, it's a piston system. So instead of direct impingement, instead of you shoot the bullet, the bullet's going down your rifle, it's going down your barrel, and you had gases literally are blowing back down a gas tube and hitting your bolt, and unlocking everything and making it work. You have literally the hot gases are pushing your operation system back and forth, which is a very reliable,
clean.
Well, it gets dirty, but the reality is, I mean, if you keep those things, look, direct impingement guns, I love. I mean, as long as you keep them lubed, not even necessarily clean, but keep them lubed, and they'll just keep on running for you. But piston is nice because you don't have. I can tell you what's nice. I did a SWAT range day with my boys, 25 of them. We got a 25-member team. We did a full range day last Thursday, and what's nice is getting off the range, and I still got a clean gun. I'll tell you what, there's something. Literally, I get home, I get my air hose out. I'm really just blowing off the dust from just rolling around on the range, and it's nice and clean. Unless I run my silencer, which we do have team silencers, we typically take them off for training because then you'll spend 4 hours cleaning your gun. But of course, we zero with them and train with them. But that just makes them nasty. But that 516, I get done with the range day and it's clean. I'm basically just wiping the dirt off of it, which is nice. So that works out pretty good. But I really, direct impingement versus piston, half dozen one, 60 the other for me.
I'm allergic to cleaning guns, so I like pistons.
Yeah, I do not like cleaning guns either. I'm with you.
The running joke with my friends is like, if the gun gets that dirty, I'll just sell it, get a new one.
Yeah, exactly. I can remember, at SIG when I was just teaching and shooting heavily day after day, back in my instructor days at SIG, just like people ask, how often do you clean your gun? And I'm like, I can't remember the last time I cleaned my gun. I just lube it, just like before class, get a little, EWL lube on there and you call it good. Just keep on running, so yeah, same. Now I clean my operational guns just because I should, but that's about the only reason I feel like I need to.
And so your issue gun right now is a Glock 19?
Yeah, for detective work, Glock 19 is what I run every day. Got a Streamlight TLR 7A on it, RMR on it. Then my SWAT gun is a Glock 45. Of course, that's a 9mm. That's what we issue for our SWAT gun with RMR, Streamlight TLR 1s, and then our rifles are 5.16 10-inch.
Very good. Okay, folks,
Yeah.
we'll be right back with Adam Painchaud, E3 Firearms. We can talk a little bit more about hunting, shooting, and all the good stuff in life right after this. We haven't got into Oreo cookies yet either.
Oh, let's talk Oreo cookies. I like talking Oreo cookies. Yep, absolutely.
Well, folks, I asked Adam for a little bit of background info on him, so he gave me like his the dating show rundown. At the very end, favorite colors, olive drab. Favorite cookie, Oreo. So that's where that comes from.
That tells me you read it. I'm just impressed that you read it, so that's good.
I had to do a little bit.
I appreciate it.
No worries, man. Thank you for your service. Hey, you did say that you liked hunting too.
Yeah.
And you liked fixing stuff, right?
I love fixing stuff.
I love boats and I love fixing stuff. So I think that hobby just goes right together, right? If you have a boat, you're fixing stuff.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand. Absolutely. This my boy came in to say hi. Say hi. Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. If you have boats, you need to like fixing
Like
stuff.
an
Is the
RV.
reality.
Yeah, an RV, you better like to fix stuff.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
I became allergic to that because growing up I had a Volkswagen, and they said I was lucky because with the Volkswagen had a Baja Bug, you could always fix stuff, work on it. And I said, you don't understand. You always have to work on it.
Yeah, not an option. Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up and got Toyotas. And moved on
there you
from
go. Nice and reliable.
Okay, so let's pick it up here. We'll talk a little bit about hunting and
Sure.
in the great Northeast there. I imagine that's where you're hunting up there, right?
Yeah, literally the last year I got was this past fall, about 300 yards to my right. So with a 300 blackout with a silencer on it. That was my last
Did you
tag
shoot
out.
it uphill so it would slide down to the house right into the cleaning
Yeah,
processing
that
area?
would have been perfect. Nope, I took my 4-wheel out there and dragged it out of there.
All right.
Yeah, but this year I'm actually another 2 weeks I'll get out there with my bow and hopefully get a little something.
All right. Well, we'll talk about hunting.
Cool.
Okay, Dan.
Yes! Great hunter. Yes? Fine figure of a man. Yes? Yes?
Yes.
That is all you need to know for now.
Hey, folks, welcome back to Firing Line Radio Show. Philip Naiman here with Adam Painchaud. Obviously, once again, I need to re-announce that Fluffy, the 10 Jeep guy, won the Maglite ML 300. So PM me and we'll get that off to you. It is your responsibility to PM me because I'm lazy. I'm not going to track you down. It's just give stuff away. Ain't gonna track you down. So check that out.
I feel like I'd like to have a beer with the 10 Jeep guy. I mean, he seems like a good dude.
Fluffy, the 10 Jeep guy. He's anyway. I just had to go with that name. Not sure what it is, but it's a funny name. Anyway, so he's the winner on that, folks. I'm here with Adam Painchaud, E3 Firearms. It's a community of like-minded folks. And if you like overlanding, boating, fishing, hunting, camping, there's a group in there for you to be involved with. There's training levels, there's membership levels that allow you different access to training. It's a great way to get information, especially if you're new or you want to go to the next step. Like for myself, I am a very mediocre shooter. I'm one of the best mediocre shooters you're going to find. So if you want to see where my score is, just look in the middle band. I'm in there somewhere, right? Unless I had a major issue with a M1A that I don't want to talk about yet. It's still too soon. I'm still hurt over that one. But to go to the next level, right? You have to get the training, you have to get the expertise, and you have to put the time in, and that's what they have access to. But in this segment, I want to talk a little bit more personally with Adam here about hunting, because as you know, if you listen to the show, it's a passion of mine. It's a passion of his. He's in the Northeast corridor there where I've only traveled. I've never hunted. So I want to find out a little bit more about that. So Adam, you're in the woods, in our break here, you said how far away your last shot from your home was, but tell us a little bit about hunting in New Hampshire.
Yeah, so a lot of whitetail hunting up here. Up around where I live up here in kind of middle to northern New Hampshire. Fairly mountain, a lot of lakes and mountains. A lot of wooded terrain.
A lot of
Decent
water
mix.
up there, right?
Lot of water, yeah. Stream, beautiful stream, all crystal clear too. A lot of hardwoods. Some pines. Just a nice area to hunt in. But
So exact opposite of California.
sounds like it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had no venomous snakes, pretty low crime, low taxes, things like that. Yeah.
Well, we have, you guys have 4 seasons. We only have 3.
Yeah, we definitely have 4.
Our 3 seasons are brown, concrete, and fire.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So, okay. So whitetail hunting, right?
Yeah.
What's your average size whitetail up there?
Probably a buck 10, buck 20. So on the doe side, the bucks, 160. I mean, certainly, guys are pulling out some, 200s here and there, but, I'd say most of the bucks up here, and I'm not a super expert hunter. I'm just an avid hunter, but I'd say most of the bucks out here in the 180 a range, something like that.
Yeah, which is a great animal. And then the whitetail is really different from what we have out here on the West Coast, or Western US, the mule deer. You've got very tight corners, right? You're in hardwoods. So your visibility is pretty much.
Yeah, unless you're shooting in unless maybe you're sitting in a open field,
Or a
a
fire break
pasture
or
or something. Yeah, most of the time, guys, it's brush shooting, so guys using, 30-30s, 30-06, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, is probably the common rounds out here that you see in New Hampshire. And, like a 50-yard shot is a long shot up here because, you got a lot of trees in the way. So, it's not many guys are getting distant shots, like unless it's across the, cow pasture or something like that.
That's interesting. And so a lot of archery too.
Yeah. Yep. Archery hunting's great up here. I'm fairly new to archery hunting. I'm enjoying it. But yeah. So pretty close there too.
Do you guys
obviously
use tree stands or just stands on fields or?
Both. Like personally, I've got a couple fixed tree stands, got a climber as well. I like to walk though. I don't know how how successful I've been walking. I've definitely shot some deer walking, but I like to be mobile. I like to walk around. I think that was something I got from my dad. My dad never sat in a tree stand a day in his life, was always on foot, always tagged out every year. So I like to be mobile, just because I'm active and I like to be out there. I probably scare more deer though than I actually hit because of that. But
well, so that's one thing that the ground has in common. Out here, everything is just crunchy and noisy, and if there's not a lot of cover where the deer are, it's more grassy and open. Maybe scrub oak and something, 5-6 feet high, but it's if there's deer, it's sparse. It's not super heavy covered. And, trying to sneak up on an animal is like,
ain't happening.
Yeah. It's like you're walking on angry popcorn, and you've got on your side, although there's more moisture in the ground, you just got these giant deciduous leaves all over the place. Right. So it sounds like you're running a lawnmower just walking down the path.
Yeah, unless you get out there after a little bit of rain or snow. I mean, that's what's nice about, you get a little snow on the ground, it's nice and quiet, and of course it's easier to track and stuff like that. But outside of that, yeah, it sounds like you're crunching on potato chips out there.
So that's awesome. And then do you process the animals yourself?
I've kind of experienced. I got a good buddy of mine, Dustin Perrin. He runs an outfitter up here, Northern New England outfitters up here. But he's my guy. He's got a butcher shop, so he does all that. He's an expert in that. But he walked me through it a while ago. But I like to think I could process it 100% myself, but I'm not that skilled.
Well, I think it's good to support the local communities. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, definitely.
Support his business. It's not that we couldn't do it ourselves and spend 8 hours cutting and vacuum sealing. And, it's not that we couldn't do it. We just want to support our local communities.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Take that and run with it. So one of the other things, cooking venison, right? So we're going to turn this into a cooking show since we already mentioned
I love to cook.
Here's one thing I have found if you're successful as a hunter, the gun goes off, the animal's on the ground, right? If you're buying beef at a store, the animal's stunned, it's bled, and it dies from blood loss. That's commercial. So the difference in the meat between what you've hunted, if you're a successful ethical hunter, versus what's in the store is the blood in the meat. And a lot of people complain about a gamey taste.
Mhm.
So what I found is when I defrost my meat, I put it in a piece of Tupperware, cold water, put it in the fridge, let it defrost overnight, maybe sometimes even 2 days. And that water takes all the blood that was in the meat out.
Hmm.
Try that on your next batch and see if it doesn't
Yeah,
make
I
a
will.
big change. It totally removes all gamey taste, because the gamey taste is the blood.
Yeah.
And it's just because, again, it's the way the animal was dispatched. He's dead in 10 seconds. He didn't bleed out. It's a concussive injury. So that's my tip for you on cooking. So now you got to
That's
share a
good.
recipe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to try that.
So what's your favorite way to cook venison?
I love the burger, really. I like sauces. I love lasagna. I like pasta, lasagna, spaghetti, things like that. So I use the burger just as burger. I mean, taco meat, whatever. We use that on a regular basis. That's pretty common in my household.
How many
But
deer a year can you shoot in New Hampshire as a resident?
we it depends on where you are, but if you can tag out one with archery, one with firearm, which could be pistol, handgun, and muzzleloader is considered firearm. So that, and there are ways you can get other special permits for different areas in New Hampshire to get another one. So 2 really, if you do bow and firearm. So, and then you can get other tags if you want as well. So
Yeah, some of those areas back east are crazy with deer. I think
yeah.
Kentucky was like a deer a day.
Oh wow.
I heard that a while back. My buddy in North Carolina, it's like 5 or 6 deer are on the limit, and they're not big animals, but I mean that's a lot of hunting. So
oh yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Now, have you ever hunted out west?
No, I haven't. I lived out west for a while. Early on in my Air Force career, I was out in North Dakota, which was gorgeous country out there.
It's not really out west. It's on the other side of the Rockies.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I was out west from New Hampshire. I could tell you that. So yeah. I did more fishing out there though than hunting, but yeah. So I guess no, I haven't.
We'll have to get you out here.
That sounds cool.
So what are some takeaways here for people with E3 who are just getting started?
There's a lot of noise out there, and it's kind of hard to know where to turn to get good quality firearms education, and it's just a good trusted venue. You've got, we've put a lot of professionalism, a lot of thought into our platform. Chris and I have, and with Brian, and it's a well-vetted program. It's a safe place to be. It's a safe place to learn. You got to learn a correct, safe way to do things that make sense. Rather than just clicking some random YouTube link and watching somebody who you don't know who it is. Not to say it's not good, but it may not be.
And when you're new, you don't know what you don't know.
And that's a problem. And I can speak from experience from, clicking on YouTube links to, fix my boat or my truck. And I watch something and I go try. I'm like, this is not going to work. Exactly. And I go back and I'm like, who is this guy? And why am I watching him?
Exactly. Folks, I want to thank my guest, Adam Painchaud. Adam, thank you very much. E3Firearms.com. You guys have a great weekend. God bless.
Thank you.